Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm the Mighty MC, a straight G on a knife reviewing spree. I'm sorry, I won't do that anymore. Tonight, I do have a couple from Shieldon I want to talk to you about, so I'm just going to get right to it. I recently picked these both up, so there's one really good and one I don't think is nearly as good. So, let's go through this. First of all, I've got the Stinger. Designer's Marcus Williamson. 14C28N, G10 and micarta handle, 2.95 inch blade, 7.32 overall, 2.68 ounces, and stone washed. Here it is in lawn green micarta. It's not bad. One of my complaints with Shieldon, though, is that they only tend to make knives in one color, with the exception of the scythe, which they make in a bunch of colors. But it's probably the most popular knife. Other than that, pretty much what you see is what you get. So let's check this one out. They do have a captive pivot here with their logo on it. This is that lawn green micarta. It says G10 micarta, so that's got to be the micarta there and then the G10 out here. So that's what it is. It's like a micarta inlay into a G10. G10 backspacer, reversible wire pocket clip, and is it just me? Or is this pocket clip way, way long? Like, this thing is more than half the length of the knife, which is kind of crazy to me. You do get T8s on the body. That's kind of cool. It might even be a T8 in the reversible pocket clip. It's not a super deep carry pocket clip. You're going to have that much showing when all is said and done. Not a big deal for me, but it might be for you. 14C28N blade with one deployment method. And that's kind of my other complaint. Now, they did do a nice job here. They jimped that flipper tab all the way up and around. And you can get it nice and easy. And there you go. Snap it open. It's kind of hit and miss for me. And maybe it's just me, but I don't have a ton of luck with this. But let's look. It says this is a stonewash blade. And it probably is, but it's one of the less impressive stonewash blades I've ever seen, for me personally, but everybody's different. You might be okay with it. Again, see that? I didn't get it very well. Might have hit my finger, though. Yeah, see, sometimes I hit this back finger on the way through, but that's a me problem. There we go. So you can get it really good, and the action's not bad. We do have nested liners in there, which are very nice. If you can, you probably can't see them. And there is some weight reduction, but again, what did I say, 2.86 ounces, 2.68 ounces. So it's nice and light anyway. I do like the blade shape, jimping part way up. That's nice. Right about where my thumb wants to sit, maybe a little low. I probably could have used maybe 3 extra blocks, but it's not too bad. One thing I don't like, and it's just, again, this might be a me thing. It's not a hot spot, but I definitely feel this clip flexing around in my hand when I really try to grip it. Not a big deal, but it's just something I notice. Action is just okay. Now, one thing I will say, I didn't take it apart, and there's nothing wrong with this. Some of you guys, I know, take these things apart and clean them and oil them and all that as soon as you get it, and that's fine. I'm actually kind of envious. I just don't usually have the motivation, but I am a little jealous. But even though I'm jealous, and I think it's very cool that some of you do that, I don't think I should have to do it with a brand new knife. That was nice. A brand new knife should just be good out of the box. I should have the option to do that, but I shouldn't have to. So 14C28N on the blade. A little bit of billboarding here for Marcus Williamson Steelworks and the Stinger. This one's about $55 if you can get it. So I do have a 10% off code you can use at Shieldon Knives, but I'm going to, full disclosure, I've never bought directly from Shieldon, so I can't vouch for it. I don't know if their shipping takes a week, 3 weeks. I'll put it in the description. You're more than welcome to use it, but honestly, if you can get it from like White Mountain, I would get it there. That's where I got it. You're going to get the same 10% off, and you're probably going to get it faster. Now, if you can't find it anywhere, please, by all means, and you want this one, do use my 10% off code. But Full disclosure, I haven't actually used their shipping, so I cannot vouch for it, okay? So this is the Stinger. Honestly, you can do better. Like, I like Trivisa better in this price range. Kubi's got some great knives that are 14C and G10 that I still think are probably a better deal. This one's not bad, but I do wish they'd make it in different colors. Honestly, if you can get it for under 50 bucks, it's probably worth it. Much past that. And one thing, though, I know it's going to hurt is the single deployment method. If you're going to do a single deployment method on a knife, you better nail it, and I'm not sure that they did here. So anyway, let's move on to the better of the two, though. I definitely like this one better. This is the Shieldon Hoplon. And I have lost my literature that tells me what it is. Okay, so the Shieldon Hoplon here, we have by Rolf Helbig, who I do not know. It is 154, micarta and G10, 2.59 inch blade, 6.3 2-inch total, and satin. This is a much better feeling knife. So you have this micarta, which I don't like the color of this micarta at all, but again, because it's Shieldon, tough luck, you get this. They do have that captive pivot, which is going to be nice when you're taking it apart. T8 screws there. Looks like both of them are T8s, honestly. Same here. And that pocket clip, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Doesn't this pocket clip look like it would look better on this knife? Not saying this one would look good on this one, but I just think this size is much nicer. Like that pocket clip is pissing me off. It's just too big. Anyway, same issue here. I do feel this one flexing a little bit, but because it's not so long when I grip it, I don't feel it nearly as much. Here's your G10 right here with a little thin lanyard post hidden right there in that G10. There's a standoff right there. There's not a lot of micarta there, but I guess you're probably not going to jerk your lanyard that hard. Or maybe you will, because maybe you're a pervert, right? Right? Cool. So, they call this a Japanese Tanto. It's a nice little blade. It's jimping right back here in that little curve, thumb curve right there. Two methods of deployment on this. You've got the rear flipper. Works excellent. Really snappy, crispy detent. I like it a lot. I don't usually like rear flippers. And you have the front flipper, which does have fairly aggressive jimping. And if you could see down in here, it actually has cleaned my fingers some because it's so aggressive. But it also works really, really well. You have great access to the liner lock right there. Scales have a little texture, a little grip, not too much though. But look at that blade. Nice satin, 154 cm. It's sharp here, it's sharp here. Both those are really, really nice. You do have some sharpening room here. 154 cm and micarta has always kind of been Kaiser's address, right? Now, I mean, Kaiser's doing a little more now, but this kind of used to be like their calling card. So I think for Shieldon to do one this nicely, and it is a small knife, but I can still get a good 4-finger grip, and I have a wide hand from here to here. I have short fingers though, and I can still get it comfortably. I do feel that pocket clip flexing around a little bit, but because of the blade style, because of the thickness of it, it doesn't feel like such a small knife. Like I have this guy, the Right P662B. So he feels like a small knife because he's thin, he's kind of dainty. It's a good knife, but it just feels small. This one does not feel so small to me, and I really like that. So this one is about 78 bucks. If you can get it on White Mountain, it's closer to 70, which is great. I think it's worth that price. Again, same deal. I do have the 10% off code that I'll put in the description, but if you can get it from a dealer in the US, get it from a dealer in the US. Try that first. So let's do some size comparisons here. Let's just compare the two. Pocket clip. Oh, working my nerve, dude. So there you go. There's those two. And I think, what was it? 7.32 and 638. Am I right? 732 on the green guy and the stinger here, and 632 on the Hoplon. But let's do some more familiar knives. Get something here. The penguin. Let's do the QSP penguin. Let's put him in the middle. A penguin sandwich. So the penguin and the stinger are very close. Stinger's probably got it by a little bit, but you probably, it might be the same. You're going to get real similar cutting edge here. Obviously, the penguin is a good bit bigger than the Hoplon. If you don't have a penguin, get a damn penguin. They come in slip joints, button locks, titanium, big ones, little ones, whatever you want. This is the perfect EDC size knife for me. This is the Spyderco Native 5 Salt. Again, the Salt is kind of close to the Stinger, but the Stinger is a little longer. Salt does have some advantage over the Hoplon in height. But the Salt is a backlock, which is my only negative thing about that daggone knife. Finally, the Ontario Rat 1. I don't carry knives. It blows them all out of the water. I don't carry knives this large. So I got this one just because it was so popular. I've never carried it. But as you can see, the Rat is significantly bigger in the handle, bigger in the blade. It's just a bigger knife. So, what do we have to say? This one is okay. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I probably wouldn't buy it again. Just because I like the shape and I like the profile. I don't even mind that it's a front flipper only. I just don't think this one's quite there. It doesn't feel as good as other knives that it's going to compete with. Like I said, I can do Kubi, and I think I can do much better with Kubi. I think I can do a lot better with Trivisa. So, Stinger, I cannot recommend. The Hoplon, I really, really, really do recommend. Now, I don't necessarily want my finger right there, but that is nice jimping. I want this, but I can get this. Look at that. That's perfect. And you can just cut and cut. It's got a nice little belly to it right there, which is kind of cool because, you know, the way it's built, you're not going to get flat down on cuts with this because the flipper and your knuckles and all those. But if you have to get on something small, you can just flip it this way and you're right back in business. That'd be great for fine work. You do have a little piercing tip. So I would have no problem carrying this as my main knife and be fully confident it's going to deal with whatever I put it to the test with. Probably not going to baton wood or anything with it, but most general EDC tasks, this isn't just an office carry. This isn't a desk carry for me. So I do not necessarily recommend this one. I 100% recommend the Hoplon. I'll put links to Shieldon's site with my 10% off code in there. Thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon.